Hello. It is Monday. Okay. My car. I need to get the power steering checked. I bought fluid for it and I was going to check the fluid level and I couldn't get the hood latch to work. I don't know if it's because it was too cold or what, but I'm going to try when I get home after I'm done running all my errands, which makes no sense, I know, but the car was very, very cold and it hasn't been driven in a couple days. So anyway, I went to Starbucks and I just stopped at the post office. I had one package to drop off. If this video isn't super long, I might do some solds at the end. There haven't been very many. eBay's kind of been like crickets for me, so I've had a small handful of sales since the last time I did a solds video. I have been slowly adding things back into, I call it my store, even though I don't have a store technically. I'm not paying for a store. I'm just keeping my number of items under 250 so that I don't get charged for things getting relisted at the end of the month, or renewed. Anyway, I'm changing the quantity back to 1 on the listings as I'm going through my items to see what I want to throw in the pile for the yard sale, and stuff that I want to relist. So the other thing I found out is there's a flea market in Cincinnati, not too far across the border, and there, I think it's Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Anyway, once it gets a little bit warmer, I might just do that instead of waiting until we have some kind of a yard sale or estate sale. So I don't know. You know, I might do better. There's going to be more people, obviously, at a flea market than there would be coming through a neighborhood for a yard sale or estate sale. So, you know, I think that's probably going to be where I would get. I wouldn't make as much money per item probably, but I'd get a lot more eyes on the crap that I do have to get rid of, you know? So, where are we all driving like grandmas? Anyway, today's kind of a big day. I'm going into Ohio for the first time. I was close once with one of the properties that I went to, one of the rentals that I went to get an application, but I did not go across the river. So today I am going to pick up the 2 items that I won in an auction, I don't know, a week ago, and the location to pick the items up was like over 30 miles away, and I was like, I'm not driving all that way for 2 things that I spent $10 on, you know, or I think it ended up being like $12. So, because I didn't win any of the other stuff. The auctions here are brutal. Maybe it's just because it's winter and there's not a bunch of other ways to get, you know, inventory, so people are overpaying for things. But I mean, compared to Phoenix, the prices really get out of control here, more than they did there. And maybe it's just the auctions that I've been finding that are close enough for me. But because we're so close to Cincinnati, you know, which is one of the bigger cities, I mean, it's not big compared to Phoenix, it's tiny, but, you know, in this part of the country, it's one of the bigger cities, and, you know, maybe that's why there's so many people watching these auctions. I don't know. But I had one last night that I was bidding on 3 different things, and, you know, as a reseller, the other people either have an antique store where they can charge insane prices for stuff, or they're buying it for personal collections. Because there's no way with the prices that they paid for the things that I was bidding on that they're going to resell them and make any money. It's not going to happen. So, you know, but that happened in Phoenix too, where there'd be people overpaying for stuff or paying eBay prices for things at an auction. It's like, what's wrong with you? Go to eBay, you know. or it'd be cheaper on eBay than it would be to go through the auction. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm heading into Cincinnati. I didn't want to just go there for just these stupid things that I got at the auction, because they're not even really worth. I almost just said forget it and pay the $12 with the fees and everything, and just let them do them again or throw them out or whatever. But Granger, which is where I get most of my boxes, or 99% of my boxes, isn't very far away from this auction house. So I'm going to pick up the couple things, and then I'm going to run over to Granger. I ordered some boxes, I think 6x6x4s. They didn't have the size that I wanted. Well, they had them, but it would have taken longer to get them. And I wanted something that I could pick up today, you know. So I didn't want to have to drive up there again tomorrow for boxes after I'd already been up there today. So I'm going to pick up the auction things, go to Granger. Now I'll know where Granger is, you know. And so when I have to go up there again, I'll be able to figure it out. I won't be nervous or whatever. I'm not really nervous. I just get apprehensive when I go to a new area and I don't know where I'm going. And that would even happen in Metro Phoenix if I had to go someplace where I wasn't familiar with. Most places I knew my way around, though, for the most part. Sun City I did not. And the roads were very curvy there, and you lose your sense of direction there too. Like here, you know. But the sun's out today, so that helps a little bit. And since I've been driving a little bit more, I'm learning I kind of have an idea which way I'm going when I'm driving. So even if it curves, I kind of stay honed in on how much I've turned, and if I'm now heading north or if I'm heading northeast, you know what I mean? So it's getting better. I found my way home a couple times without using the GPS, and I turned down a street I didn't recognize and had never been on purpose, because I wanted to see if I could find my way home. I was challenging myself, and I did. So, you know, there's a couple different streets that if I see them, I know where I'm at, and then I can find my way home from there, you know. So I just go in the direction that I think I need to go in to get to one of those two streets or three, and once I'm at that point, I'm okay. So anyway, doing those two things. I cannot remember how far, what I told you guys in the last video. I've recorded in the car a couple times, and I decided not to upload it. So I talked about some stuff, so I may repeat some things because I don't know if I've already shared this information or not. Now, I think the last ride with me that I did, I talked about the potential apartment, and that I wasn't extremely comfortable with the potential new management and how on top of things they might be. So after that video, I got a phone call from the property manager, the one that I met, and he said there was one place on the application that he forgot to have me initial, and they're very stickler-ish, or whatever you want to call it, on everything being filled out 100%, no, nothing blank. Like you had to write NA and stuff that wasn't applicable. You had to, everything has to be filled out, like every little spot. So anyway, he wanted me to come back in and do that the next day. So I did. And when I walked in, they still have not fixed the front door entrance thing. And it's where there's buttons for each unit to call the occupant so they can buzz you into the building. So if that's not working, you have to call the person that you're there to see so that they can buzz you in, which is ridiculous. And I brought that up to him again. I was like, is that thing on the door ever going to get fixed? Because, you know, if you have stuff getting delivered, like if you have groceries coming or whatever, you know what I mean? So he said, yeah, we need to get that taken care of, but it's really not his problem anymore. So I think he's at that stage in his job where he's like, screw you guys, I don't have to worry about this anymore, blah, 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 you know. He's like, let the next person deal with it. I get that, but there, at the same time, there's people living there who are older than me even, and, they need things to work like they're supposed to. Okay, I have to watch where I'm going. I need to take 71 north. So I hope I'm in the right lane. I don't know. I'm too busy talking and, okay, yes. I think I'm in the right lane. Anyway, so I brought that up, and he was, again, very friendly, well, there was a person sitting in his office, and she was on her computer, and he said, this is so-and-so, I can't remember her name. Anyway, it's the new property manager. She happened to be there. So I met her, and I can see where she could be a bitch, or bitchy. I mean, everybody can be bitchy, but she may have extra broomy days or whatever. I don't know. So, she didn't say much while I was there, but I asked him a few questions about, like, maintenance and, the air conditioning and heating units, that kind of stuff. And what I failed to notice when I went there the first time is that each apartment has their own wall unit air conditioning, or it's vented through the front wall, or through the wall that's the exterior wall of the apartment. Anyway, each unit has their own individually controlled AC and heater thing. So I don't have to worry about that. And I did look at the units to see how they looked, like if they look like they're maintained or if they were, pieces of crap. Some of them look like they're probably on their last leg, the air conditioners, or heat pumps, whatever they are. But then there were also some units that look brand new. So that, for me anyway, in my head, tells me that they will replace the unit if it takes a crap, So that was a good sign. I felt better about the building after I left the second time I was there. The other thing that I have decided is that I am going to, if they call me before May, I'm going to turn it down. Now, he told me you can refuse one time, and they'll keep you on the list, and then they'll call you the next time they have one open, if you're not ready to move yet or whatever. So if they call me before May, I'm going to turn it down. But if they call me after May, then I will go ahead and accept the apartment if I can time it with the money and stuff, because that's going to be the thing for me, is coming up with the money for the deposit, the first month's rent, and the movers. The movers are probably going to run me. I did some price checking, and it's going to be anywhere from $100 to probably $150 an hour for the movers. And my moves, just from past experience, when I've moved from one place to another in the same city, it has been around 3 hours, for them to load the truck, us to get there, and then get the truck completely unloaded. It's usually been between 2 and 3 hours. I always go higher on the amount of time just to be on the safe side. So, it's going to be a minimum of $300 for the movers, and then rent deposits, and so right around probably $800 or $900, which is more than my Social Security check. So even if I took my whole Social Security check, like if I got accepted and it was before I'd paid my rent where I am now, and I could just use my entire check, which I can't because I have insurance that has to be paid out of it and other stuff, but my biggest thing is my car insurance and my renters. Anyway, if I could use my whole check, it still wouldn't be quite enough, but I could probably use my credit card if I had to for the moving part. So, I'll figure it out. But anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at with all of that. I'm still looking at other places. I'm still contacting other places to get on their waiting list. I'm not just waiting on this one place, because there's always a chance that I could get something somewhere else and it might be better, so we will see. But I did get to go inside a unit. I asked him, I said, do you have any vacant right now? And he wasn't going to show me because they haven't done any cleaning or anything to it. And I was like, look, I worked in real estate. I've been in places after tenants were there who were a nightmare. There's nothing I haven't seen, and he's like, okay. So he took me, showed me one of the apartments. They're fairly spacious. Visually, I was imagining them to feel a lot smaller, but they don't. The bathroom is large, which is awesome. I had a big bathroom in the duplex, and it was wonderful. Not to be cramped in the bathroom. And lots of pantries and closet space, so that's awesome. The kitchen is a good size. I don't spend a ton of time in the kitchen, so no big deal, But, the layout's good. I like the layout. There's enough room for all my crap. I felt okay about it. So I think getting to see the inside of one of the units and, nothing, it didn't look beat up and like crap, so that probably helped too. Anyway, I think that's it as far as the apartment stuff goes. I'm going to pause this for now because I want to turn my GPS on, because I think I'm starting to get close-ish to Cincinnati, and I want to make sure I'm going the right way. So I will be back. Alright. Well, this trip was pretty much a waste of time. Not happy with that auction house. They did not transfer my stuff from the main office to the Cincinnati office, or location, whatever you want to call it. So I drove there for nothing. I'm glad it wasn't any further. The guy said they'll call me. I'm not holding my breath. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I did get my boxes from Granger, so at least I know where that is now. Now I'm heading back to Kentucky. I went over the bridge. Next time I come up here, I'll film when I go over the bridge, over the river. But this time I was watching my GPS and, paying attention. So anyway, now I get to drive back home. I'm a little aggravated with the fact that I drove all the way up here and they didn't bother to transfer my stuff from the other. And I talked to that guy for a while too, so it's not like, and he confirmed with me that he would, whatever. At least it's not super freezing today. So, and I made sure I left the house after 1 o'clock so that I wouldn't hit a bunch of lunch traffic. Although now it's like 2:40. There's a bunch of traffic on this freeway, which I'm kind of surprised at because it's still early in the day. And coming up, there wasn't much traffic at all. I don't know why it's so bad now. I don't know if people are getting off work early. This is really early. And for a Monday, it's very strange. Anyway, at least I didn't have a lot going. And I know where I'm going to go home. So as soon as I get to the 18, I get off the freeway. And then I know where I am, so I don't have to use the GPS or any of that nonsense. Oh, crap. Okay, so I talked to you guys about the apartment and that I feel a little bit better about it now. I'm still going to look for other places, and if I get contacted by another one, I will look into it and see how it is. We're going 40. In this lane that I'm in, I can't figure out why everyone's going so slow in this lane, but I'm going to get over as soon as I can. We're on a highway. The speed speed limit is either 55 or 65, and we're going 40. It's a truck that's in front of the van that I'm behind. Okay. Oh no, it was the van. He's crawling along. Oh, he's about 100 years old. Dude, stay to the right. He's gonna get run over. Anyway, okay, so talked about the apartment. I did have an email that I sent to my aunt because she texted me and asked me how I was doing, and I told her that I'd gotten called by that apartment, you know, and she was very excited for me, and she said, is it okay if I tell your mom? And I wrote her back after I thought about it for 2 seconds and said, please don't. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to let my aunt know how I really feel about everything. And, you know, if she says something to my mother, that's fine. I don't really care. I don't think she will. If I tell her not to share information, then she's pretty good about it. If I don't say don't tell anybody, then she'll run her mouth. You know, it's how she is, you know. But anyway, I basically told her, I wrote her a long email. I didn't really explain myself per se, but I just told her that my mother has no right to know anything about me anymore after the way that she treated me when I was living there, and not just the last month or whatever. I've been reading back through a lot of my Facebook posts where I was documenting things that were said to me and how she was acting, and it started a month after I moved into her house with her, after she had invited me to live there and I was helping pay for things, you know, and it started that long ago. So it was, you know, it wasn't as bad in the very beginning, but it was still pretty crazy. And again, it didn't hit me as hard because I wasn't really dissecting it, you know. Once I started really paying attention to how she was talking to me and how she was treating me, you know, the more it happened, the more I realized that she was just awful, and how she was treating me was not okay. And it doesn't matter who she is, you know, and especially a parent. You know, your mother or your father is not the person that should be berating you and making you feel bad about yourself every chance they get. You know, that's not how it's supposed to work. And anyway, I explained to my aunt that my mother did not have any right to know anything about me anymore, and that's it, you know. And and we have kind of an understanding now that, you know, we can talk to each other and see how each other are doing, but I don't want anything political thrown in my face, you know. As long as she can do that and just talk to me like a human, then we can have some kind of a relationship, you know. But I don't want to get sucked into anybody's weird political crap, you know. I don't think she will. She knows how I feel about it, you know. And they're slowly going to find out anyway. I'm not going to have to say anything or do anything. The people who voted that way are going to find out. He can't do half the things he was saying he was going to do without a bunch of other people agreeing to do it with him. And he might get that with some stuff, you know. Anyway, I don't want to get into the politics too much. I have not been able to sleep. My sleep has been all kinds of screwed up for the past week or so. I mean, it was bad before, but it's so much worse now. Every day, it's like, I almost don't want to look at the computer or at TV or anything, because every day it's like, what did he do today? You know, what new thing has happened? And with Colombia, you know, and the thing is Colombia has been accepting deported people. When Biden was in office, we were deporting people to Colombia. You know, people were being deported. When Obama was in office, people were being deported. When Biden was in office, we just didn't see it or hear about it, you know. But people were getting deported back to their home countries or whatever. Crap, I missed my turn off. Man. Yeah, that's where I need to go. Too busy yakking. I know I'm going to go up to the next one. I know how to get home from there. This person in this lane next to me, he did that on purpose. He didn't want me getting over in front of him. So he was crawling up my butt. Just enough so I couldn't get over. Oh well. That's his issue. Anyway, all the tariffs and stuff, it's just going to drive the prices up on everything. You know, he promised everybody, I'm going to lower the prices. You can't do that. You don't have the power to do that. You can't just wave a magic wand and go lower prices and it happens. It doesn't work that way. And especially if you start slapping tariffs on everybody that we trade with, they're going to slap tariffs on us. You know, tit for tat. I would. If I was a trading partner with the United States and they slapped a tariff on me, I'd be like, well, here you go. Have this. You know? Fuck them. Anyway, so, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens and how much poorer we all are in 4 years, because everything's costing even more than it is now, which I can't even. It's bad enough. I don't think this recording is going to be too long, so I may jump in with the souls at the end. I'll record that from home. Sorry about my right eye. I'm having the leaky eye thing going on again. It was making my nose run and all the usual things. I don't know what is going on with my face. I'm starting to wonder if I'm allergic to Simon. Because he sleeps on the bed with me and his hair is in everything, and I should have turned left there. I'm not paying attention. I turned left up here. It's not a big deal. Anyway, I really hope that I'm not allergic to him, because I can't do anything about that. That would suck. I mean, he's not going anywhere. If I'm allergic, I'm just going to suffer, you know. That'll just be the thing that I'll have to deal with until he's not here anymore at some point, you know, or I'm not here anymore. One of us isn't here anymore, then that's when I won't have Simon anymore. He's not going anywhere. So don't worry about that. I'm not one of those people. I'll talk to my doctor and find out if there's some allergy medicine I can take that doesn't have any stimulants in it. So I drove around a little bit today. At least I know how to get up there now and which way to go. And I don't think I'll have to use the GPS next time. Although I stopped at the auction house first. Next time I have to go to Granger, I might have to use the GPS when I get up into Cincinnati. And then once I've gone there a second time, I'll remember, you know. Because I'll be going straight to Granger, not someplace else first. I don't know if that makes any sense. Because I know how to get there from the place that I went to first, but I don't know how to get there from the freeway. So that I'll have to figure out. But once I know that, then I won't have to use the GPS. So anyway, got my boxes. So people can buy things now if they'd like to, and I'd appreciate it. Not you guys, I'm just talking to the universe. I need to have at least a couple sales a week would be nice. You know? If I could pull in like an extra $100 a month after my costs of everything, that would help a lot. So, you know, if I have something I need to get done in the car, which I'm going to have to, I think the power steering, one of the mechanics, not my guy that I was going to, Bill, but one of the mechanics before him said that my power steering pump was going to have to be replaced. And that was probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's probably 3 years ago. You know, so I kind of knew it was coming. Anyway, that's it for now. I will jump in with my solds and then I'll end this. So I will be back. Okay, I know you guys can't see me. It's really dark out, and the street that I'm driving on, there's no lights at all. There's headlights coming. I don't know if that's going to make any difference. There I am. Anyway, I'm on the way to my appointment this morning. I thought it was a CT, but I was wrong. It's an MRI. So I get to lay in that tunnel thing and hear clunking sounds for at least 30 minutes, so that'll be fun. Anyway, I can't believe how dark it is. I mean, you know, I know it's dark where I live, but I didn't realize just how dark, because like even in Phoenix, we had street lights every, you know, at least every, I don't know, quarter mile or something. Oh, there's a little bit of me, because I'm driving past some offices or buildings. There's like a strip mall. Anyway, I'm trying a different way to go to the doctor's office because why not? And it's kind of the back way. It's not going to be a different amount of time. It's going to take me the same amount of time to get there. It's just a different way to go. So it's not quite as highly traveled. So I probably shouldn't have gone this way if I was going to record, but here we are. Anyway, yeah, so I've been taking Zyrtec, and it seemed like it was working for the watery eye thing, at least a little bit, but I took one this morning and my right eye is leaking, so I don't know. And the last time I took one and I paid attention, it took a couple of hours before it stopped my eye from leaking, so, and I only took it like an hour ago, I think. Hopefully it will work. I can't wipe my face while I'm laying in the stupid MRI tunnel thingy, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm doing this morning. I was gonna put my solds in, as you know, if you just watched the footage, after that ride with me from, I think it was Monday. Anyway, I didn't get the video edited or whatever in time, so I just decided to record a little bit this morning after I go to the MRI appointment. If the post office is open, I'm going there because I've got 2 packages to drop off, and those are sales that I'm going to include in the solds. That I hear a siren and I don't know where it's coming from. I'm sure it's going to go through here as soon as my light turns green, because that's kind of how things work. I hear it. You guys can probably hear it now too. They need to not come this way. I can't sit through another light. Oh, man. I mean, I get that it's getting louder. I know it's going to come here, and I don't know where. There it is. And yeah, we're going to miss our light. Yep, there goes my light, and there goes the fire department. And are we going to be able to go? Oh, okay. that was a, well, we'll see if we actually get to go or not kind of a thing. All right. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of lighting up here, so I will start recording now since you guys are getting tortured with this footage where you can't see anything. I didn't know if this appointment was actually going to happen after yesterday, because I'm on Medicaid and everything's frozen right now. Although there was a judge that filed something and said no, you know, they have to go through other channels. This is money. The money that he has stopped right now for all of the funding for all of the federal stuff is money that was already allocated, you know. And I know some of you are supporters of his. Hopefully you don't have any friends or relatives that work for the federal government, because They're all going to be out of a job. You know, he's getting rid of everybody. What on earth is going to happen to the people that stay and go back into the office? And, you know, this whole thing of making everybody go back into the office is a load of crap. And I know this because they can tell what your productivity is like. Any employer, if you've been working from home, they can tell if your productivity is up or down just by the amount of stuff that's coming in and out from you. You know, if you're getting your work done and there's no, you know, and there's no issues with you getting it done, there's absolutely zero reason for them to make you go into the office unless they want to micromanage you. And that is all it is. You know, I've had bosses before that let me work from home. Roger was one of them. And I got so much more work done when I was at home than I did when I was in the office. There's no distractions, you know. And I had my kids, you know, so it's not like there weren't kids there. But I got my work done. If they knew that I was working, they knew, you know, leave mom alone, she's working. I got more work done at home than I did in the office, always. And I don't know if it's just a matter of you're more comfortable, you know, there's no interruptions. I mean, every once in a while, the kids would ask me a question, can we go to the bowling alley? This is when they were a little bit bigger, you know, but that takes 2 seconds, and you get breaks every 4 hours anyway at most jobs, you know, 15-minute break every 4 hours. I didn't take breaks when I worked from home. You know, if I was going to eat something, I'd eat it while I was sitting there working. So there was really no downtime. And I know a lot of other people are like me in that way, you know. You go into the office, you're exposed to more illnesses and stuff. People are probably calling in sick more often. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. If I was an employer and I had a company where my employees could work from home and, you know, and I could see their work from home setup, that's the other thing. You know, if they have a room where they can close the door and no one's bothering them and they're producing, there is no reason to make them go back into the office. It's just stupid. You know, it's stupid. I don't know. It's micromanaging. That's the bosses want to be able to breathe down everybody's neck, and you don't get as much done. At least I didn't, you know. So anyway, all right. I guess I'm gonna go in. I don't want to sit in there with a bunch of people. Bah. All right. Anyway, I'll go to the post office after this, drop off my packages. I have an appointment this afternoon to get my driver's license. So I think that's a state office, so they should be open. Oh, the housing stuff, I don't know what's going to happen with that. You know, they supposedly, I've checked several news sources because, like I said before, I don't always just rely on, you know, if there's a headline from one website or one news organization. I'm like, no, I'm going to check a few places, and I check a lot of websites, and you know, to make sure that I'm getting all the information. And supposedly they sent out a letter or a memo or something, the White House did, saying that SNAP and Medicaid and anything that, you know, like helps the citizens would not be frozen, that it wasn't part of this whole sweeping freezing thing. But they also said that they weren't going to implement Project 2025, and here we are. So I don't believe anything they say. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with the housing. Low-income housing could get cut, because part of it is federally funded. Part of it is state funded, you know, but part of it is federally funded. And do you know how many people will be homeless if they do that? I mean, you think the homeless thing is bad now? Holy crap. You know, and I can't live where I'm living forever. You know, and they say, well, everybody can just go back to work. No, everybody can't. You know, if I could have found a job where I could work 4 to 6 hours at a time and still make enough money, I would have kept working. I wouldn't have taken my Social Security early, because all it did was hurt me. In the end, I'm going to be getting about $300 a month less for the rest of my life than I would have been getting. Maybe it's more than that. It was a significant amount of money. Because I took it early, I could not find a job. And with my back the way it is, I cannot sit, for more than, sometimes it's only 4 hours and my legs will start going and I'm in pain. And you can only take just so many pain meds and function as a human at a job. So it's not like, and there's a lot of people like me. There's people who have disabilities that can't work. And if they do, it's, they're making minimum wage. I mean, at least I had enough experience and education where I could make a minimum of $15 an hour, which still isn't enough to cover rent. Even if you work full time, it's really not enough. And especially now, rent is over $1,000 a month for a tiny studio. It's ridiculous. I don't know what they think people are going to do. This is how you control your population. You kill off half of them because they have nowhere to live. I don't know. It's not good. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about this. I'm getting myself all worked up. I don't like it. Okay. Deep breath. The sunrise is coming up and it looks beautiful. I mean, I can barely see it. And I would show you guys, but there's not enough of it for you to be able to see. Plus, I think the part of the window is blocked where you guys will be able to see if I turned my phone. So it looks like it's kind of orange and pink, just on the horizon barely. So I don't know if I'll get to see more of it. I've got to go in a couple minutes. All right, I will either there will be solds right after this, or I'll be talking to you guys after I went to the post office or after my appointment. I don't know. Bye. Hello, Fat Grandma here. If you are new to this channel, I started this channel to kind of track my journey with reselling, mostly on eBay. And somewhere along the way, I got sidetracked, and there's been a lot of my personal life involved, as well as my reselling stuff. So, I noticed I have a few new subscribers, so I just wanted to warn you guys, it's not all personal life and it's not all eBay, and it's lately been more toward the personal life stuff because I moved and I'm trying to get my eBay stuff back in stock, and it's taking time to do that. I've got 243 items in my eBay. I don't have a store, an actual eBay store that I'm paying for, because you don't need one if you have under 250 items. So I'm keeping it below 250 for now. I had one for about a year, and when I got ready to move, I disabled the store because I knew I wasn't going to be selling for a couple months, and I couldn't see spending $22 a month for nothing. And right now, with the way my sales have been, I'm not spending money on a store. So I'm going to keep it below 250 items in my store. I'm still calling it my store. Anyway, there's a link and it'll still take you to all of my listings. I just don't have a banner and an intro video and all the stuff that you have when you have a store. You also get, like shipping. You get a coupon 4 times a year that you can use for, buying some shipping stuff through eBay. You have to buy from eBay, but, it's a nice little perk, and you can run sales and things like that. Those are the kinds of things I can't do right now. At some point, I will get a store again, but right now it's just not going to happen. So I'm still, if you can see the messes behind me, I'm still going through my inventory and, seeing what I have that I didn't take to the flea market and sell in Arizona before I left, because I just threw stuff in boxes. So everything is not organized like I once had it. Anyway, you guys will have seen some footage, some ride with me footage from Monday and yesterday, I think. It is now Thursday morning at about 5:30. I've been up since 1 o'clock. My back woke me up. I think the MRI machine and having to lay on that hard surface for half an hour um, pissed off my back, for lack of a better description. So I'm paying for that, but it'll calm down. It's just flared up a little bit. I have not gotten the results for the MRI from my doctor yet. They sent me the report, but I don't know what any of it means. So I've only sold a handful of items over the past, well, since the 13th. So this is from January 13th through the 28th. So over 2 weeks. Um, yeah, it's been 2 weeks and 3 days of sales, and I've sold one, two, three, five, 8 things. So, but I don't have a store, so my stuff's not been pushed out there. I don't have as many items as I did in my store before because I'm keeping it under 250, and I am sending out offers. And most of these sales, I think, were offers. Not all of them, but most of them were. And one of them was a consignment, which is a friend of mine. And when I sell her things, I don't take anything for it. So the first item I sold was the consignment item, was a Travelon anti-theft heritage crossbody heavy canvas tour bag. It was never used. That sold for $35, and the buyer paid $7.63 in shipping. Um, and again, I didn't make anything on that. The next item I sold, and I don't even remember, I think I paid $1 for this, a handmade crocheted bear baby blanket, 30 by 30, ivory and white with a blue border, sold for $8.99, and the buyer paid $7.46 in shipping. If you haven't been here before, I put pictures up in the corner so you guys can see what the item looked like. The next item I sold, and this was retail arbitrage, which, if you're not familiar, is if you buy things at a store at a discounted price and then resell them and they're brand new. This was a Disney The Lion King live action collector figure set with 5 pieces, sold for $18. I paid $8.50 for it. So, it wasn't a huge profit, but it was okay. Sold for $18 and shipping was $8.78. Shipping's supposed to be going back down. They raised it for the holiday and it was supposed to be going back down, but it seems like it's still stupidly high. It's not helping us at all. And other things aren't helping us, but I went into that a little bit when I was driving and thinking out loud. Next item I sold was a vintage ceramic piggy bank with a hat and polka dot scarf, blue, yellow, pink, marked foreign. And I bought this in a lot of piggy banks from an auction, and this one probably cost me, I don't know, maybe $2. Anyway, it sold for $9.99. This has been listed for like a year, so really long time. Sold for $9.99 and shipping was $8.29. The next item I sold was a Northern Lights Candles Tudor medium Avora sleeve candle holder. It was 6.5 inches tall by 4 inches in diameter. Sold for $11. I paid $1 for it at an estate sale. Sold for $11 and shipping was $9.98. Let's see. The next item I sold was a vintage Fitz and Floyd Enchanted Holiday ceramic lidded trinket box, 2002. And it was actually in the box that it originally came in with all the styrofoam and everything. So well protected. I sold that for $15. I think I paid $5 for that at an estate sale, either an estate sale or an auction. Anyway, it sold for $15. Shipping was $11. And let's see, 2 more things. That's it. Usually I wait until I have like 30 things and then it takes me forever. This next item was a resin spring rabbit Easter figurines, Mr. and Mrs. 9.5 inch tall carved wood look. They were resin, but they looked like carved wood. They had the Hobby Lobby stickers still on the bottom of them. Anyway, the pair sold for $11.99 and $9.62 in shipping. And the last item was a vintage Pablo Zabal Chile blue and white folk art pottery, and it was a like a chicken or a rooster, and it sold for $13.59 and shipping was $7.21. This chicken thing, this one had some issues. It had a crack, it had a chip. I took very good photos. I'll try to show you guys the pics that I took. of the damage on this item. You know, I think I paid $5 for it at an estate sale. I didn't see the chips or cracks or anything, but I thought it looked unique. And these pieces, this Pablo Zabal from Chile, if they're it's signed, he was signed on the bottom. They can go for quite a bit of money, uh, you know, if they're in good shape. This one had some issues again, you know, but it still sold for 13.59 and I paid 5 for it. So that's not horrible, you know. Anyway, that is it for my sales. My total sales was a whopping, and this is not including the consignment piece. I left that out of everything. So the other sales were 88.56. Now I did earn $8.93 on the shipping, and that is because in your business policies, and anybody can do this, you don't have to have a store. You can set up your shipping policies. Like if you want to exclude buyers in certain locations, that kind of thing. And you can also add shipping and handling into the mix so that that gets added in. And I've got a 75-cent fee that I charge that gets added to the shipping and the shipping cost. And that covers my box and bubble wrap if I'm having to use my own stuff. So, anyway, so the total sales were 88.56. The excess I earned on shipping was $8.93. My cost of goods was 23.50. So my net for the past a little over 2 weeks was $44.08. So not great. You know, it's fine. I'm going to leave the money in the account. I'm not buying. I don't know if I just shut my microphone off by accident. I'm not buying any new merchandise. I've been tempted, and that auction that I drove to and they didn't have my items there, I emailed them that night and told them I would just like a refund because I didn't feel like chasing around for items that I didn't really care about picking up after I'd driven 15 miles each way to pick them up and they weren't at the location. I was so pissed off. Anyway, so they refunded my money and it's already been put back on my credit card, so I was glad about that. Um, let's see what else has happened since I recorded with the ride with me's. Anything that popped up? Oh, I think I told you guys I put some power steering fluid in. It helped a little bit, but it's still making a noise. So you know, it's probably in its last leg. I'm not looking forward to that. Um, I am picking up. This is okay. That's it for my sales. You know, I'm going to be working on getting more stuff added back in. What I'm also going to be doing is if I have items that are in my store active for over 6 months and they're not getting looked at and no one's watching them, I'm going to pull them and put something else in its place and just keep my inventory at 250 items until things pick up a little or we figure out what's going on with the economy and stuff. You know, everything's in such a state of turmoil right now that it's hard to know how any of this is going to go. You know, it could all flatten out and calm down, and eh, you know, and that's what we can hope for. Or it could get worse. I mean, we don't know right now. So um, I'm not going to shop, you know, and it's hard for me because I see stuff in the auctions that looks decent and I'm just going to wait, you know, I'm going to wait. And I think I know there's a lot of sellers out there that are still doing really well. They're selling a lot of merchandise, but they have stores and they have more inventory and they're more established than me. This March will be my third year, the start of my third year of reselling. So I haven't been doing it that long. Um, I mean, it's been a while, you know, but it hasn't been like I haven't been doing it 5 years or more like a lot of people. So, you know, and my eyes are watering again. I took a Zyrtec, but it's not doing any good yet. So frustrating. Um, anyway, so that's it with the solds, you know. I mean, it's some pocket change and I'm going to do the bubble wrap in this video. So if you want a chance to win a roll of bubble wrap for free, let's see, what do I want to have you guys put down below in the comments? Bubbles, just the word bubbles, Bubbles. And when I do the drawing, um, which will be in my next video, so I don't know, maybe a week or so, I'll do the drawing, and what it'll do is it'll go through and search for Bubbles as a word down below in the comments, and whoever the thing chooses, that'll be the winner. And then I'll have you contact me through my Facebook page to get me your mailing address so that I can ship you the roll of bubble wrap. And it's going to be the medium size bubble wrap. I don't know if I have any here that I can show you guys. If you're a seller, you know what it looks like. So anyway, if you want the bubble wrap, put that down below. And then I'll have it shipped to you from American Bubble Boy. That's where it's going to come from. So, um, as far as all the stuff that's going on, and I know I'm trying to stay away from this too much, and I won't go into too much detail, but I'm concerned. Uh, Aside from the humanitarian part of the deportations that are going on, if they're a criminal, sure, kick them out, get rid of them. I have no issue with that. We don't need those people here. But there's a bunch of people. There was an army vet, or I don't know, he was in the middle. He was a vet, a military vet who got rounded up with a bunch of other people. Fortunately, they didn't haul him anywhere, but that kind of thing does not need to be happening. And so, it's just, it's not going well. And so we don't know. We just don't know right now what kind of an effect this is going to have on our ability to get groceries. Um, all of the crops and the farms, like farmers, even the dairy farmers, are starting to panic a little bit because a lot of their workers are undocumented, and the fields that are usually being picked are undocumented workers. um, and so who's going to be picking this stuff? You know, I don't know who's going to go out and pick all these fields, and who's going to help with the packaging at these plants, because a lot of those people, like the meat packing and the dairy packing and all of those stuff that nobody notices, a lot of that is immigrants who are undocumented, and they're getting deported now. So, we could have some serious shortages in the grocery stores. So, what I did, and, I'm not going crazy, but I ordered a lot of rice and beans and pasta that I can just store away. It's canned goods and stable shelf stuff, that can sit for a while if it needs to. I'll keep getting my regular groceries as long as I can. But if it comes a time where there's a shortage for things, I'll at least have some stuff here. I'm also ordering kind of a back stock for Simon so that I have food for him, you know, um, his wet food uh, and his I mean, if it comes down to it and you can't get cat litter, I can go dig dirt out of the backyard if I have to. You know what I mean? That I'm not so concerned with. I mean, I don't want to do that, but if you had to, what did people used to do? The cats went to the bathroom outside. So, I can get cat litter. I don't know that that's going to be an issue, but, as far as his food and stuff goes, there's meat in it, and is there going to be a shortage on our pet food? Because the meat packing and processing companies may not be doing their normal stuff if they don't have the workers, or the manpower to do it. You just don't know. We don't know, what's going to happen. So I wanted to kind of prepare at least a little bit. I'm picking my groceries up today or 10 o'clock in the morning, I think. And I've probably got, I'm going to say, a month or two worth of stuff that I could make meals out of. I ordered ramen and canned peas because I put peas in my ramen. I ordered like a box of ramen, and then I ordered cans of spinach and applesauce, the big things of applesauce. It's just so that I have some fruit of some sort, because we don't know how much fresh fruit and vegetables we're going to have access to. And I don't have a huge freezer. I mean, I can put some frozen stuff in there, but it also gets freezer burned. So if I can get it canned and do the low sodium on things, then I'll do that, because that will. And I ordered some dry milk. Um, because I can filter my water. So, I'm not too concerned about that. But I'm just gonna prepare just in case, and if it comes down to it, I'll watch the expiration dates on the stuff that I'm getting. And it's stuff that I would normally eat if I felt like it, you know what I mean? Like it's cans of pasta sauce, the big cans. Um, I can make up a batch of pasta and that'll last me for a week of dinners or close to a week. And that's fine. If it starts to get close to the expiration date, I can get new ones and then use whatever's getting close, down the road if I need to, if I haven't used it because I had to use it. So that's kind of my thinking on it. Just in case, because things are kind of uncertain right now. So I don't know what's going to happen with the housing or Medicaid, and I'm on Medicaid. And they said that the programs like that won't be affected, but they said a lot of other things too that they're now doing that they said they weren't going to do. So, you know, we just don't know. So, at least I have a place to live for now. I wasn't supposed to be here more than maybe a year and a half. I was hoping. The apartment, the last time I talked to him, and I think I told you guys this, he made it sound like it would be less than a year. So, that he expected, but we don't know if they're still going to have funding. Some of it is church funded, but and state funded, I guess, but some of it's also federally funded for the low income housing. I don't know what percentage of their funding is federal. So, maybe it won't affect them as much as it would HUD if they decided to do something. It's all a bunch of ifs right now floating around. We don't know if this, if that, if they do this or that or whatever. Um, anyway, we'll find out, I guess. Um, okay, I think that's it for this video. It's probably been very long, and I'm sorry. I know some of you guys like the long videos because you can do stuff while you're listening. So, maybe this has been somewhat amusing. I don't know. If there's choppiness in the ride with me parts of this video, it's because I took some stuff out. Um, if I repeated myself or whatever. So, or I got too far off on a tangent. I I try to avoid the political stuff, but sometimes I just can't. Sometimes I have to say something. I have a mouth and I have opinions about things, and I try to be reasonable and look at things and see both sides of things, at times, not always, but I try to see other people's points of view or try to understand their points. Sometimes I just can't. I just can't. When people go off the deep end or get so far extreme that they're losing their mind, like the person I was living with, my mother in Arizona, that's too much. That's when you've gone out of reality and slipped into a whole nother area. So hopefully things will get better and calm down, because I've been just on edge for the past week or so, however long it's been. I can't even keep track anymore. Anyway, we're very close to the weekend, so I hope you guys have a nice weekend, and maybe if it's decent outside, try to get outside and get some fresh air and just, decompress if you can. I know I need to do that. So I might go for a ride, depending on what the car is doing. We're supposed to have some rain, but I might just go for a drive and look at some scenery in Kentucky and, get out of my head if I can. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. Don't forget about putting the word bubbles down at the bottom in the comments, and I'll do the drawing in the next video. So that is it, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. Bye.